So I haven't seen myself in this one yet, but I did already rip it. It's so cute! Hello and welcome to my channel. So as a costume design student, my favorite time of the year is here, which is Halloween season. But I was looking on Pinterest for like costume ideas because why would you look anywhere else? And then so one thing I found was the Denison's How to Make Crepe Paper Costumes book. Denison's was a company, they sold crepe paper, I guess, but it was just like a whole new idea that I had never thought of to make your costumes out of paper. And when I first went into this project without looking into anything, I thought that it was going to look very crafty, like just look like I made something out of paper, but these costumes are actually so cool. So I thought I would try to make some for myself, and the ones I picked were a apple tree, a raindrop, and Queen of Hearts. I'm gonna say it was pretty interesting too, like looking back to see like what people dress up as now, and then back in those times. These were some of the paper options available at Denison's, and since the company has been closed since who knows when, these are the colors I got from a website called Just Artifacts. There's actually two ways you can make the crepe paper costumes. You can make it over like a slip, which it shows how to make in the book, except for it adds like ruffles and stuff, which I don't really have time for. And then you can also make like a slip over costume where you just take the paper and basically like cut a hole in your head for it. I don't have enough paper to do that though, so I'm just gonna make some fancy rectangles. So I just cut some arm and neck holes into a rectangle and I sewed up the sides. I was originally going to use Velcro, but I just decided I was going to try to sew through the sticky Velcro. Yes, I knew it was going to happen, and yes, it happened. I ruined my needle, may have ruined my sewing machine. Anyways, after sewing the sides and leaving the top straps open, I ended up with 3 underdresses.
What's up with the dresses?
So I'm ready to start, and I'm going to start with the apple dress first, but I didn't realize it says to cover the whole dress in crepe paper and then do 4 layers of fringe on top of that. So I'm gonna try and find some more tomorrow at the store, I guess, but for now I'm just gonna like make do with what I have and hope that it looks okay. I just sewed the green onto any part where the tree wasn't going to be, and I don't know why I didn't just use one piece for the top and bottom, and instead I used 2. Will that help me to regret every way I touched and held onto your body? I was pretty nervous at this part, but trust me, it gets better. So I'm ready to make the fringe part, and it says that cutting with the grain makes like stiff fringe and cutting across makes softer fringe, but I only have this like one piece left, so I'm just going to do the regular way. But it says to
cut a strip of paper through the center fold of the crepe, the width desired for the fringe, unfold and refold into 8 thicknesses. The /1 inch down spine is required to within about 1/2 inch to the other edge for a narrow fringe, or to within 1 inch if a wide fringe.
I'm just gonna cut something, and I'm just gonna leave like the end open, I guess, and then fold up the rest because I don't know what that thing was telling me to do, but it would be easier just to like leave one strip uncut and then. As per the directions, I folded the paper up and cut strips, being careful to just leave a top part uncut so that it would all stay together. The fringe is done, and moving on to the tree part of the tree, and I thought like with the crushed crepe parts I would just be, you know, like, but there's a whole directions thing for this in the book, which says stretch the paper as much as possible, then lay it on a flat surface and take up a small portion in the tips of the fingers of both hands, crushing it tightly. Repeat until the whole piece has been crushed. Guess we'll do that. It's actually pretty weird how stretchy crepe paper is, and I never knew that, but I tried to follow the directions for this part perfectly. And here is the bark that I then pinned on and sewed on by hand, and I added some to these shoulder straps too. Next were the arm pieces that were just strips of fabric cut to the length of my arm and covered with the brown paper. Apparently they were supposed to be green, but they look like branches anyways, so it's fine. So I just realized today's date. As fun as hand sewing is, I think I'm going to start using my hot glue gun and my sewing machine, because even though I'm not really going anywhere for Halloween, I really want to finish these projects and I have like a week to do them. So I haven't yet made the like rope for the arms, which I'm going to do with this that I got on Amazon, and it kind of sucks. But I'm gonna do that, and then I still have to add like the fringe around the skirt, which I have some of it cut out, but I'm gonna make more with it. So my fringe and my ropes are ready, and now it just wants me to make like a hat with a like rectangle piece with twisted on the top. It said I just had to cut and glue a rectangle that was my head size and then twist it, so glue and twist I did. This tutorial can also be followed if you want to look like the top of an onion for Halloween. Okay, here's my hat. I just had to secure the hat by tying a string around the twisted part, and then it was time to cut out all the flowers. So I'm gonna glue the blossoms on, and I don't have like a mannequin head to put my hat on, but I do have this. Perfect. I did also add 2 strips of pink paper to add some more color before I glued the flowers on. And for the final part of the costume, I sewed the fringe onto the waist and then gave the dress a haircut. And then I just had to glue the ropes onto the arms and glue flowers to those ropes. I'm so sorry that this part is blurry and I don't know why, but here is the finished apple dress costume. Ta-da! So here is my apple tree costume. I think it looks super cute. I don't know what you would do in this if it rained. It'd probably fall apart, and it's not the most comfortable, and every time I move I feel like I'm gonna rip something, which I already have ripped something. I'm really excited about it though, and I can't wait to see the next ones. I have 1 costume down and 2 more to go, and this time I'm gonna start putting everything together before I actually put it on the dress. But since I didn't read the directions before, instead of gray, which I'm supposed to be using for like fringe across the neck, I have this blue, and then I still have the silver for the raindrops, and then I was supposed to get tinsel, but I don't know where to get it, so instead I went to the dollar store and got this like silver fringe stuff that I'm going to use. For this dress I followed the same fringe directions and folded and cut the crepe paper, being careful not to cut all the way through. So I finished the blue fringe, and then I just realized that the table skirt is like not long at all. So I'm probably gonna do like a couple layers of it. I just noticed too, this has like a sticky backing on it, so I'm just gonna stick it on and hope that it stays. This part looks okay, but I do have some of the extra silver paper, so I'm gonna cut like strips of it and just kind of glue it on randomly. Much better. After I added the silver fringe, I cut out what felt like 100 raindrops. This time I used ribbon for the arms, and I glued some elastic on the elbows and wrists so that I could keep them on my arms, and then from there I just had to glue on the fringe and the table skirt. My arms are done. Here are my arms. When it got to the sewing part, the table skirt kept ripping, so I had to glue some paper on it, and then I could put everything together. Here it is so far. What do we think? I think it's really cute, and then I just had to do the crushed crepe again for the cloud, and I have to make another hat. So the picture clearly shows the girl has like a cloud on the front of her dress, and I cut mine to look like a cloud, and it looks like a paper towel. I feel like I look so angry when I'm hand sewing. What's happening? So after gluing on the raindrops, I followed the same onion hat tutorial, and this time I glued down the extra part instead of tying it. I started adding the clouds to this hat, and my boyfriend said it looked like a diaper, but he was right, so I tried to fix it by adding more stuff, and then the raindrop costume was done. This one is so much fun, and I love it. I don't know, what do you think about that? So I'm on to the last costume, which is the Queen of Hearts, and other than the gold it doesn't say which colors to use, so I got black and raspberry, and I've been staring at them forever. Everything's in shambles, but I think I'm gonna do the raspberry for like the ruffles across, and then the black one for like the fringe and the hat decoration, and then obviously the gold for the hearts. So I'm just gonna start with the hearts and the hat. For the hat I just needed one big cardboard heart, and I covered it with the gold crepe paper. Next I added some strips of black crepe paper that was supposed to hang down from the point of the hat. Ow. It was looking a little odd, so I thought cutting the strips in half would help, but I swear these hats just kept getting weirder and weirder. Next up was more fringe, I know, riveting, and some red strips for the ruffles, and then I cut out all the gold hearts to glue onto the hat and the dress. Right now I'm just marking where I want the ruffles to be on the dress, and I'm going to try to sew through it with my sewing machine, so I'm not hand sewing all this, and I'm going to use like the biggest zigzag stitch that I can, but I think it will work just because the paper is like super stretchy, but you'll find out in a second, and wish me luck. So it worked, and then it didn't work, but it finally worked, and I just had to change my bobbin because I am lazy and this looks really bad. I know it takes like 30 seconds to change a bobbin, but I am so impatient, I hate it. I didn't think I'd be saying this, but I'm gonna go back to hand sewing for the fringe because these lines are supposed to be straight and they're clearly not. Just keep in mind I tried my best, but maybe not my very best. Final time, I sewed on the fringe to the waist, and I put on some sleeve fringe, and then I glued on the hearts. I finished gluing the hearts, and the dress is looking kind of ugly. I'm gonna try and like put some extra gold on there and try to make it match better, but so far I just think it looks pretty bad. Maybe better, but still ugly. As you can see, I tried to put some more ruffles here to try and fix it, and I covered everything in hearts. Try to fix that too, but not my favorite. I think the hat is fun. I do like the hat, but other than that, this one was kind of a train wreck. And here it is without the hat. I just realized that I knew I ripped the back putting it on, but I thought it was still intact, and it's not, so I think I'm just gonna burn this one. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had so much fun, and I'd love to know if you would make any of these costumes or any other costumes from the 1920s, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see some more random videos. Do you like my hat?